Welcome back to Just Scrap Radio on BJPenn.com. I'm your host, Cole Shelton, episode 62, the final episode of the year. We got a good lineup for you ahead of UFC Vegas 45. First up, we're joined by one half of the main event, and Chris Daukaus, to preview his heavyweight fight against Derek Lewis. Always enjoy talking to Chris. Really good chat about how this fight kind of came together, fighting Derek Lewis, how this kind of really prepares him to fight Ngannou down the line if Ngannou remains a champ, just because their styles are so similar. We also talk about just his training camp, kind of how to prepare for a guy like Derek Lewis. There was a lot of unique kicks that is hard to take down and hard to hold on the ground if you do get him down. But really good chat with Chris as always, who a win here could put him right in line for a title shot. Next up, we're joined by one half of the co-main event, Stephen Thompson, to preview his fight against Bilal Muhammad. Stephen Thompson knows this is kind of a big fight for him, coming off a loss to Gilbert Burns, a really disappointing loss for him. He was kind of frustrated about how that fight played out, so he really wants to make a good statement here against Bilal, prove he's still that top contender he can be, and really start working his way up to an eventual title shot, because he still believes he has what it takes. Even though he's 38 in a very young welterweight division, he believes he still has what it takes to earn a title shot. We're then joined by Diego Ferreira to preview his fight against Matthias Gamrot. This is a really big fight for Diego Ferreira, who's coming up back-to-back losses to Gregor Gillespie and Beneil Dariush. He was supposed to fight Grant Dawson in October, and an injury pulled him out of that fight. And now he gets Gamrot, who's 19-1, coming off a just over a minute submission win over Jeremy Stevens. Before that, knocked out Scott Holtzman. Had a controversial split decision in his UFC debut, but Gamrot's a real deal former KSW champion. He's very well-rounded, and Diego knows it's going to be a tough fight, but he won that. He thinks he could get his hand raised and then start working his way back up in that top 10 at lightweight. And then we close things out talking to Andre Ewell to preview his move up from bantamweight up to featherweight to fight Charles Jourdain. This is kind of a fight that's flying out of the radar. This very well could be the fight of the night. Both Jourdain and Ewell are very exciting strikers. Jourdain coming off that disappointing loss to Julian Erosa last time out. He's looking to rebound in a big way. Andre Ewell, 2-fight losing streak, coming off that knockout loss to Julio Arce. Perhaps he loses this, he's cut. So this is a big fight for Andre Ewell, a new weight class. But really good chat with all four of them. Be sure to share the show, subscribe, and thank you all for listening this year. It's been a really good year for this show, but I hope you all enjoy the holidays, and see you again next.
Definitely.
All right, we're joined by UFC heavyweight Chris Daukaus, who's got his first UFC main event upcoming. Chris, how's it going?
How are you? How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, obviously a big fight. Like, did you ever expect your UFC run would happen like this quick to the top? Like, you're already fighting Derek Lewis in your fifth fight and a main event.
No, definitely, definitely not. I didn't think that I would be getting this kind of push this early. But hey, I'm going out there. I'm winning fights, and if that's all it takes for me to get this, I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Your last fight, like, what do you kind of take away from that? Because that was a very good performance against Shamil.
Yeah, just the whole experience of the crowd, of experiencing a UFC crowd was really good. Making it out of the first round, testing the waters in the second round, even though it was pretty quick into the second round. But yeah, just the overall experience of everything. Being in the arena, fighting Shamil, who's ranked number 7. So he's a very experienced guy, and just taking all of that with me, it's a really good learning curve and a really good learning experience.
When this fight got announced too, like, it kind of, I remember texting you, like, you didn't get the contract, your brother sent out
Yeah.
that tweet. Like, how frustrating is that, where like they're already kind of announcing and like maybe like you hadn't signed it or anything?
I mean, I guess it's a part of the business, but yeah, it's a little frustrating. I mean, I just wanted to focus on my brother's fight. I figured I'd at least get at least a week or maybe like a day. I don't even think I got a day until that started going out. So yeah, I mean, if that's I guess that's just the way that the UFC does things. That's the way the UFC does things, and I'm just gonna have to get used to it. So
Were you surprised when you found out they were offering you Derek Lewis?
yeah, especially since I called out 4 other people. I figured I would get at least one of them. But I guess not. I guess the UFC had other plans.
He obviously just fought for the interim belt. Like, he was in line to fight for the title. Like, what you kind of make of his last fight against Gone?
Um, it was a little I don't think that was truly Derek. I don't know if it was being in Houston, being in front of the whole, his hometown and all that. If that kind of got to him, he's main evented before. He's been, ready for 5 rounds before. I don't know if like the whole pressure of the situation got to him. He just didn't seem himself. But for our fight, I fully expect him to be the Derek Lewis of old, and really coming out there to make a statement. So yeah, it's definitely going to be fun come December 18th.
Oh, what surprised you more, main event or Derek Lewis?
Uh, Probably main event. I didn't think I was main event status yet. I mean, yeah, definitely in the main event. Yeah, I'll say that. I mean, main events are a big thing. They're what cards are built around. So it's really cool to see that the UFC has faith in me, and that obviously I guess people want to see me fight more often. So obviously I'm going to do it. So it's really good.
Obviously, with main event comes 5 rounds. Like, how different is training now? How preparing to go five?
I haven't really. I mean, no, I was training for a 5 round fight, leading up to my UFC debut. So I was scheduled to fight Sean Teed for CFFC. How they work it is, same thing, 5 rounds, fives. So I was ready for that. I'm just ready to go. It was good training for 15 minutes. Now that it's 25 minutes, it's a little stressful, but you just have to manage everything properly with your strength and conditioning and training, and making sure that you're not overtraining or anything like that. And that's what I'm doing.
I know you kind of keep your camp fairly small, like you just work with the guys around you, but have you brought in anyone to kind of mimic Derek Lewis? Or are you leaving that up to the guys you work with?
Nah, I have faith in the guys that I work with, day in, day out. So I'm not changing anything up. They've gotten me ready for all these fights so far, and I completely have faith in everything that they do, and the other training partners that I have and the coaches I have. So
He obviously, for being so big, like he throws a lot of those like flying knees, like
yeah,
spinning kick stuff. Like, how do you kind of prepare for that? Because it's not something you really see with many heavyweights.
no, definitely not. It's something that you have to get used to. Just because he's kind of like lulling you to sleep, and then he'll do something crazy like that. But the guys that I train with, the heavyweights that I train with, they're pretty athletic, and they do those things normally. So it's kind of just asking them to turn it up every a little bit more, show it to me a little bit more. So like we game plan for specific opponents, and we ask training partners to take things out or add things, and everyone's been really good, so I appreciate it.
And we've obviously seen Derek, like he kind of plays possum a little, like he pretends he's hurt, and like he
Yeah,
did against like JDS. Like, is that something that you're even getting your training partners to do? Because when someone like hunch over, you think the fight's about to end, and then he just comes out of nowhere like a big right hand.
yeah, it's definitely something that you have to pay attention to. He's definitely a crafty guy. He knows how to fight, and I'm going to be fully prepared for everything that happens in that cage. Be really excited to truly test myself against a veteran like him.
Stylistically, like how do you think you match up against him? Because I think on paper, a lot of fans just kind of think this one's remained standing.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu apparently doesn't work on Derek Lewis. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But stylistically, I think I'm just a little bit better everywhere. Obviously I think I have the speed advantage. He has the one punch knockout power. I'll give him that. Cardio, I think is mine. Um, Ground game, obviously, I think it's mine. He doesn't really do the ground game or wrestling. I mean, he's got great like wrestling defense and cage stuff, but we'll see how it goes, man. I'm really excited to get in there, and if I can show off a different skill set, that'll be really cool.
And it's super weird too with him. Like if I've like in his fights, like people get him down and he just like stands up
He just
somehow. Like
gets
he
up.
just like and it
Yeah,
does I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either. But hopefully, if that happens, I'll be able to figure it out on how to keep him down, and we'll see how that goes from there. I mean, I think DC's the only one to submit him. So if I could submit him, it'd be really cool to be in DC's company.
Do you look at that Gon fight and kind of seeing how Gon was just a technical striker and like didn't really allow many openings? Like, is that something that you're kind of looking at for this fight?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of go off of past fights and see what your opponent did good, see what your opponent did bad, and then obviously he's a professional. He's going to be making those necessary adjustments, and I can't be relying on one fight or the past two fights to dictate on how my fight's going to go, because he could come out like a berserker and just start trying to knock my head off, and then we'll see how that goes.
His right hand is obviously the big power shot. So is that like the big part of the fight is don't let that kind of land?
It's kind of like don't let anything land, because I
Yeah.
think he could put you to sleep with anything. So yeah, really just try not to get hit with anything, just because I don't want to test my chin against Derek Lewis. And a lot of people have, and they haven't been able to withstand it. And I'm not trying to do that. But yeah, definitely, his hands are his main striking tool. So obviously, you have to worry about his flying knees and the jumping switch kicks. But yeah, definitely his hands.
How do you kind of see this fight playing out then?
I just think I pretty much outwork him. I just don't think he can be able to keep up on my pace. His cardio it's not really been an issue. It's something that he has been working on. So I'll give him props for that. But I just think wherever this fight goes, I'm going to be able to withstand any kind of storm. And if I end up on bottom, I'll be able to get back up. He's going to be heavy. I don't know what he's planning on doing as far as like if he's going to be right at the limit of 265, if he's been working on his diet and his nutrition, if he's going to be coming a little smaller, I don't know. But I'm fully expecting, obviously the best Derek Lewis that there's ever been. And I fully expect him to be able to go 5 rounds and we'll see who's better.
Do you think this is a fight that kind of goes late? Because he is a pretty durable guy and a tough guy to put away.
Yeah, yeah, very few people have been able to put him away, so I'm ready. If this really needs to go 5 rounds, I don't want it to go 5 rounds, but I'd rather get a stoppage at some time in those 5 rounds. But if you know if it's got to go 5 rounds, it's got to go 5 rounds. I don't like decisions. He doesn't like decisions, so hopefully, I get my hand raised at the end of this.
How careful do you have to be in this fight too? Because we've seen Derek, like his power is there the entire fight. Like he has some late
Yeah,
fourth round finishes, the Volkov, like last second or third round. Like it's
yeah,
not one of those heavyweights where they have power for like that first or second round.
yeah, and I think that is really what makes Dark like the more dangerous fighter compared to like Francis. He carries that power, throughout the whole fight. So you have to be switched on the whole time. You can't be taking any kind of breaks. You know, you can't have any kind of lack in judgment or slips in your mind as far as like your technique or your defense because he will make you pay and you'll be waking up with a ref on top of you and a doctor in your face. So that's something that I'm going to have to be completely switched on for.
You're the betting favorite in this fight. Like, do you think
I
that
don't get it.
surprises you?
I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get the betting lines and stuff like that. Like it's Derek Lewis, man. Like it's Derek. He should be obviously the heavy favorite on this. I think it's obviously it's a little disrespectful to Derek. Same thing when I fought Alexi. I was the betting favorite. I just think it's a little disrespectful to the guys who've paved the way and the number three guy in the world. Like he's the number three guy in the world. He just fought Sorogan for the belt. So I don't know, man. The people who put these bets out, they're trying to get me hurt when Derek is in there, so
The smaller octagon at the apex. How do you think that kind of plays a factor in the fight?
it's definitely gonna play a factor. I don't think it was gonna play as much of a factor. I mean, compared to where I fought from before, like coming up through the regional scene and the amateur shows, that cage is huge. So, I've only fought in the big cage once, for the last fight when I against Jamil, so it was really cool. Um, but my footwork and my movement works whether it's in a smaller, quote unquote, smaller cage or the larger cage. So I'll be prepared.
Where do you think a win over Derek puts you, and especially if you can put him away? Because obviously we have Gon and Ganu up next, and after that, there's kind of no real next guy in line. Like Stipe wants that shot. There's John Jones
Yeah.
there, but there's no like clear next guy after Gon.
I really don't know. I mean, we'll see how the Francis Gon fight goes. You know, depending on if there's going to be like an immediate rematch. And if that happens, I don't know what's going to happen with Stipe. If Stipe wants to fight, I'll fight Stipe. That'd be really cool. Do a 5 round fight against Stipe. Hopefully, it'll be in a packed stadium. For I guess like the number one contender spot. That'd be really cool. Or if the UFC, clearly I don't know what the UFC wants to do with me. So um I could be saying that and then they could be like, nah, you're gonna fight another 2 to 3 times before you get a shot at the belt. So whatever they have planned for me, that's fine with me. But the short track would be awesome. Fight Stipe, beat Stipe, and then get the title shot.
This is what I think. You can think I'm like an idiot, but I think Derek Lewis is kind of that perfect fight before fighting Gano, just because they are similar. They both have kind of that one shot knock power. So do
Yeah.
you think it kind of prepares you well if you get past him to fight Ngannou down the line?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's definitely a good comparison, I would say to Francis. But like I said, I think that Derek's a little bit more dangerous in the fact that he can, hold that power throughout each and every fight and each and every round. And Francis is getting better with just his overall game and it's I think that he's a little bit more athletic than Derek in certain aspects, which will definitely help in the fight. I mean, look at the Stipe fight, the second fight. So it'll definitely be fun. But each fight is each guy is a new puzzle that I have to solve, and come December 18th, I'm looking to solve that one.
With you, like the way you're working it up, is it frustrating to see like John Jones out there and then he just wants to get that immediate title shot, and especially going everything going like outside the cage where he can just kind of jump the line?
It's John Jones. I mean, what can I say? He's he's was the 205 GOAT. A lot of people think he's the greatest in all weight classes. So with that comes obviously a certain amount of you know I guess leeway with jumping the line. But he's been inactive for a little bit. He's been talking all this thing with heavyweights about jumping up to heavyweight, moving up to heavyweight. I don't know what he's personally planning on doing as far as if he's even able to come back yet, or when he's planning on coming back. But I can't focus on that. I just have to focus on Derek, and just be ready for the fights that I know that are going to happen. If they send over, if I get through Derek Lewis, and then for whatever reason John Jones' names comes across the phone, I'll sign it and I'll focus on John. So
Just a couple more things. Obviously, the
yep,
heavyweight fight is right after you, pretty much. Like, who do you kind of
yep.
favor in that one within Ngannou and Gone?
I definitely think Gon's going to pull that out. I think Gon has a more diverse striking, um, you know, arsenal. I also think that he will be able to keep Francis up against the cage and be able to take him down a little bit better than Stipe was. Maybe not pure wrestling, but with trips, overhooks, and then like a lot of cage work. And I think that's real definitely gets it done.
How disappointing was it to see Kyle's fight kind of get pulled? I was supposed to fight Holland
Yeah,
again, and then it went like two to other different opponents. Then he can't fight.
yeah, it sucked. I mean, we learned about it on Tuesday, so we flew out Tuesday morning. We were literally standing in Whole Foods grabbing like some like snacks and stuff and like some other food for fight week in Vegas, and management called my brother and was like, the fight's off. So we're like, I had to put back a whole cart of food, and then we got the red eye back. It's just really sucks, man. He's had a really shit year, and I just really hope that now next year things start turning around for him, and I really know that it will.
He's already been booked as well. But were you kind of surprised it isn't Holland, just because Holland said like he had that slight injury, and then he said, "Oh, I'll be back in February," and now he's fighting in February, and it's not Holland.
Yeah, yeah. I was a little, I didn't think that Holland really wanted that fight anyway. I think he accepts the fact that he lost to my brother, and even though the judging and all that doesn't say that, but I think that he felt my brother's power, felt how strong my brother was, and just knew that there was no way that he's gonna win. And then with I kind of thought it was over, like with him like fighting my brother again, even like he started talking, I think it was on Twitter or Instagram about, moving down to 170, and he's calling out 170 guys. And once he started doing that, I kind of figured that his mind was made up and he's going to 170. So
I do think Kyle kind of got screwed there though, because
yeah,
with the headbutt, if Holland comes back from the headbutt, knocks out your
yeah,
brother, it's a win for Kevin. If
absolutely.
Kevin wins the second and third round and wins a decision, it's still a win. Like I thought there
Absolutely.
was absolutely no way. The best case scenario was a no contest for your brother or a
Yeah.
loss, and the best thing for Kevin was a win or a no contest. Like there was no way he loses.
Yeah, yeah, it was kind of like the cards were stacked against my brother in that situation, which really sucks. Everyone, all the fighters in there want a fair shake, but when that happens, we're our hands are kind of tied, and we really can't do anything. So we just have to accept the fact that that kind of decision was made. You have to move on and just continue to fight.
Just two more things with your fight. Same
Yeah,
usual corner for you.
yeah, yeah. Usual Gores. So Will Martinez, my brother Kyle, and then Pat Brady. He was there on my last fight. So yeah,
Last thing with your brother fighting in February, like the title fight
yeah.
January, like do you think kind of sit around for a little bit after your fight and kind of see how the division kind of shakes out?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, so yeah, I guess we'll see what happens in February and January. I think it's the 22nd. So we'll see what happens then. I know a lot of other guys are starting to get booked for early next year, so we'll see about what the UFC wants to do. I mean, I think Stipe is like you said, he's holding out for a title or whatever he's doing. So I might have to fight somebody else before I fight him. and I really doesn't matter. I mean, I get past Derek Lewis, I'm sitting in the top five, and the only thing I would like is just another top five guy, just to get me that much closer to the title shot. So
Actually, just one more quick thing, 'cause I've been asked about it
sure.
too, and I don't know. Are you done with the police? 'Cause remember last time we talked, you said you were handing it in, but like, are you
Yep.
officially done?
Yeah, no, so my official last day is December 1st. So I'm really excited. Yeah, so just a couple more weeks and then I'll be done. Done full time. So it'll be great. Full-time fighter, full-time stay-at-home dad, it'll be great.
Well, Chris, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much for doing this.
Of course, man. Thank
All right, we're joined by UFC welterweight Stephen Thompson, who's back on the final card of the year again. Stephen, how's it going?
Doing good, man. Just got done training and excited to be on with you.
2 years in a row at the year-end card. Last year obviously was a good win. Like like it continues here.
Oh, 100%, man. I won that fight. We got fight of the night, me and Jeff Neal. Ended up losing to Burns later on in the year in July. Wasn't happy with that one. Wasn't beat up at all. Wasn't even tired. The guy, Burns he beat me with his game plan, just held me down the whole time. So definitely worked on that, getting better at it. I knew what I did wrong and excited for this next fight. I wanted to get another fight in this year, and I'm glad that Bilal Muhammad took this fight.
Was this a bit later than what you were expecting then?
It was actually pretty good. Me being 38, will be 39 in February, got a little nicks and injuries here and there. So it's good to be able to take a little bit of time off to address them and get those worked out. But yeah, man, I'm just glad to be on this last card and pretty much the exact same time as last year. It was pretty cool. And what happened last year was we were co-main event like we are now, but the main event ended up somebody getting injured. We moved to main event. So that could still be a possibility. We'll see.
With Bilal Muhammad, like he's been on a really nice winning streak, like outside the Edwards fight, which is the no contest. Like, what have you kind of made of his run as of late?
Awesome, man. He's fought some really tough guys. This last one over Damian Maia was just epic, man. I love to watch that fight. A lot of guys thought it was boring, but I thought it was just great on his part. His takedown defense was amazing, and the way he just beat Damian Maia was cool and was really cool. So I'm excited to face off against somebody like him because he's pretty good everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Good striking, good wrestling, good jiu-jitsu. He's got some submission wins as well. So great person to test my skills with, especially if I still want to make it to that title run, which most of the guys up there are high-level wrestlers. So this is a good fight. This is a good fight for sure.
Were you surprised this was your opponent? Just because like you could have been matched up in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I get not really. I mean, he's really game. I didn't picture myself, facing off against somebody like him. I wanted to fight somebody that was ranked above me, but obviously that was all those fights up there were taken. And he wasn't like a last resort, I would say. I knew they were probably going to give me somebody that was, ranked behind me after that last loss. But I'm excited, man. I think Bilal's a good dude. I was supposed to be on his podcast not too long ago, but I wasn't able to make it. I couldn't get the stream service to work. So I was like, no. So if you're listening to Bilal, I'm sorry, man. We got to make this thing happen either before or after the fight. We got to do it.
Do you kind of expect him to try a similar game plan to what Burns did, just seeing how Burns had success doing that?
I wouldn't see why not. I know he's had some training with Burns here recently. He saw how I lost to that fight. So I do feel that he will shoot. I mean, like everybody else. I mean, he may stand and strike, but eventually they start shooting for the legs. So I'm prepared for wherever the fight goes. I do believe he's going to take a little note out of Gilbert Burns' books, but I'll be ready for it.
He is a very durable guy. Like the only guy to finish him is Luque. So you kind of expecting this one to go 15 minutes?
Wherever the fight goes, if I finish him or if it's a 15, round or a 15-minute fight, I'm ready for a war, man. That's what I like to prepare myself for. I like to prepare myself for the grittiest fight known to mankind, the most uncomfortable fight known to mankind. That's what gives me confidence stepping out there. So if it does go to distance, man, I'm in shape. I'm ready to go.
And I was looking at his record. Like, I can't really see anyone that has a similar style that he's fought to you. Like, do you think that's true? Like, because just you have a unique style. Like, it's hard to kind of prepare and get ready for.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of like the thing about me. Everybody talks about how hard it is to prepare for. I mean, Tyron Woodley even said it. Vicente Luque said it. Rory McDonald said it. You know, this guy. I mean, and you don't really realize until you step out there. You know, and I was talking to Tyron not too long ago. We're doing a gig together, and he was like, "Man, I told everybody you were the hardest guy to prepare for. I brought everybody I thought could help me out, you know, during that fight." And it was just like, I still felt kind of, you know, off out there with your style. And it is, man, you can bring all the guys in the world, but until you step out there with me, it's different. You know, it's not the same. So yeah, I do believe that that's the danger I bring to the table is my style.
How much like pressure are you kind of putting on yourself to go out there and like get a big performance? Just because I know you were pretty frustrated with the last fight.
Yeah, man, I was pretty frustrated on how he wanted to win the fight. Just, you know, it's never really an exciting fight when guys just trying to hold you there and just kind of pity pat you. I wasn't even tired. I wasn't banged up. I had no injuries after that last fight. And I wasn't even breathing hard. You know, it was just like, man, this guy's doing everything he can just to hold me here. And I always want to put a show on for the fans, which is why second round, third round, I went after him, you know, and hit him, knocked down with a spin hook kick, but then he ended up getting a hold of that leg and ended up getting me down. But even then, Gilbert Burns and Bilal Muhammad are two completely different fighters. Yeah, they have similarities, but they are different. So I think that this, you know, I know this fight's going to go a different way.
How important do you think that first takedown will be? Because if you stuff it, you're obviously going to kind of lose. Like, he's obviously going to lose a bit of confidence now that he has to kind of stand and strike with you.
Yeah, I think that could definitely damper his motivation out there. But you know, even if he does get me down, I've really worked really hard on getting back up to my feet and be able to have the stamina and still have the snap in my kicks and punches to be able to make an exciting fight to go out there and do what I need to do. So that's why in last camp I didn't have Chris Weidman in my camp. You know, he was on the injured list, but he's coming in for this camp. He'll be here next week. Actually, him and some of his wrestling buddies are going to be coming in thanks, buddy. See you, Weston. Sorry, one of my teammates here. You'll see this guy in the UFC one day soon, baby. But see, happy Halloween. Yeah. Thanksgiving, man. Have a good Thanksgiving. So we're closing up shop for the week. So a lot of our staff and stuff are saying happy Thanksgiving and heading out on vacation. So thank you, Weston.
See you, man.
All right, buddy. So yeah, man, wherever it goes, I'll be ready for it. I'm excited for this one. I'm just glad to be able to step back out there before next year, you know, get another fight in this year.
How do you kind of see the fight playing out?
Well, I mean, I do see some flaws in his style, and I think everybody's got flaws in their style. But obviously, my goal is to keep the fight standing and use my length, my kicks and punches, my angle changes, my takedown defense, keep the fight standing, and try and finish the guy. So what I want the most out of this is put on the best show for the UFC and the fans. To be able to go out there and do what I know I can do, it's going to be an exciting fight. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was so disappointed in my last fight, allowing my opponent. And I think I was more focused on what he was going to do to me rather than what I was going to do to him. And I think that mindset switch stepping out there was not a good one. Halfway through the fight, I'm like, listen, I can't be worried about what this guy's going to do. I got to go to him. So that's why I started picking it up. But yeah, man, that was on me. But for this one, I'm going to go out there and do what I do best. You know what I'm saying? Use my ninja skills to go out there and win this fight. That's the plan.
How weird, or like, no, I guess weird is kind of the right word. Will it be like you last time you walk out, co-main event to a McGregor card, like crowds obviously going at like rowdy, and now you're walking out in front of the Apex in front of like what 50, 100 people?
Yeah, man, like nobody. It's fun. I enjoyed it when I fought Jeff Neal. It was just something different, you know. To be able to, you're more honed in. It's almost like more emotional too when you're out there doing battle with your opponent and there's no noise. It's just you and him, and you hear every pin drop, you hear every kick, every punch. Every smack, it's more personal. I like that.
Where do you think a win over Bilal puts you in the division? Because the welterweight division, like Usman's cleared out a lot of the top. Like it's kind of wide open up there.
Except for me.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, there's still a chance. I mean, he's kind of cleaned it out. And, you know, I still have an opportunity to go up there and face off against him because he's beat everybody. He has beat everybody. The only person, well, yeah, he has beat everybody. He's beat Colby. He's beat Leon. He's beat Vicente Luque. You know, George Masvidal.
Well, Luque's the only guy he hasn't beat because they were teammates for the longest time.
Who?
Luque's the only guy up there that he hasn't fought. They were teammates for the longest time. They didn't fight each other.
Yeah, they fought each other.
Oh,
pretty sure they fought each other, and I think it was for the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, I think they might have done it on the show then. Yeah,
yeah, I think they fought on the show. And what's crazy about that is, guess who headlined that main event?
Was it you?
I fought Jake Ellenberger.
That was that card, yeah.
How crazy is that, man? I was the main event, and now Usman's the title guy. He's got the title, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty good. I'm proud. I'm happy for him, man. But they have fought. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty confident they have. But yeah, man. But it's been a while, and Vicente Luque has made some changes. He was actually the last fight when he fought Colby was supposed to be backup. Yep. He was the backup for that fight. So, and Vicente Luque has worked really hard to get where he's at. The guy's so durable. The last time I fought him, he's had like 4 fights since then. You know, I've had 2 because I was out for a year when I broke both my hands on his noggin. The guy's so durable, man. That guy can take some punishment and keep on coming. So that would be another exciting fight for sure. But yeah, man, I'm still in it, man. I'm still in it. I can still get up there. Still fight for the title.
You mentioned Weidman. How big of a key will that be in this camp? Just kind of having him around too, because he's like a good guy to be around.
He is, man. He's my brother, man. I love that guy. And it's great to have him in my corner because just the grind that he puts in and the wrestling technique and the nonstop shooting it on my legs. Like I said, I didn't have him my last camp. And I've had him in my camp since I fought in Toronto against Chris Cummins years ago, 7 years ago, you know? So to have him not in my corner or in my camp last, you know, it sucked. But this time he's going to be there. And that gives me all the confidence in the world to step out there against another grappler.
Do you think you'll need another win after Bilal to get that title shot?
Maybe. I might. I mean, and I'm okay with that if so. So there's some really tough up and coming guys in the welterweight division. And, you know, you got Sean Brady, you got Hamzat Chimaev, who is just a monster. I heard he just threw around Hermanson this past week in wrestling. I'm like, he looked bigger than Hermanson did. I was like, what the heck? The guy's huge. So got some really, really tough competition coming up. And I'm excited for it.
Just a couple more things more about your division. What you make of Usman Covington, the second fight?
I thought it was good. I knew Usman was going to go out there and win it. So you got Papa Rich Hand right here. We're doing an interview. Okay. So it was a good fight. I knew Usman was going to win it. I thought he was going to go out there and knock him out because you've seen the progress he's made, you know, knocking out Burns and George Masvidal. But I figured he was going to stop him, but Colby went out there and did work, man.
Do you think he's like starting to fall in love with his hands too much? Like he doesn't really go to the wrestling anymore. Like he's more just a stand-up guy now.
Well, I think against other grapplers, he keeps it standing because, I mean, they kind of cancel each other out. You know, Gilbert is a grappler. You know, Colby Covington, who's fought twice. You know, that I knew that was going to be a stalemate as well. They were going to keep the fight standing. But Masvidal, he went out there and knocked him out. So he was using his wrestling, but he used his wrestling to set up that punch. So he's smart. The guy's intelligent. He's good everywhere.
Who do you think gets that next shot? Because that's obviously the big question. Like Edwards now is out there. Like Luke.
Definitely Leonard Edwards. He should be. He should be. He's on a 9-fight winning streak. But, you know, on paper it should be him. But you never know. You know, Hamzat or Sean Brady goes fight somebody a little bit higher ranked than him. They might be getting the shot.
Well, I've seen people calling for Hamza to get it already, and he's ranked like 10th after his big win.
I know, man. And the thing is, he's got more followers on Instagram than the champ. He's got a whole country behind him, so he's popular at this point.
Do you think he's like as good as people make it out to be, or do you think he's a bit like overhyped? Because obviously he's really good, but like people are already touting him as like this like future champion when he really hasn't fought. Like he fought Lee, who was ranked like what, like 13th or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, looking at him and seeing what he's capable of, he definitely has got potential, man. He's definitely got it. You know what I mean? His wrestling is like, I feel like everybody over there in Kazakhstan or in Russia, they're like this Olympic level wrestlers, and they learn a little bit of strike and they just dominate. I mean, they've been doing, been shoot fighting and stuff like that since they were kids. So they're the guys, man. They're the ones coming up. We as Americans and other fighters, we gotta step our game up too.
Something I've always wanted to see. I don't know. Would you ever go up to middleweight? Because I think you versus Adesanya would just be like a fun fight, just because you guys are both really good kickboxers.
Thank you. If I ever get the title, for sure, I would definitely go up there. It would have to be in the clause though, just stand up only.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no takedowns. Let's just strike only. But even if that doesn't happen, I would love to get some sparring in with him just to do it. You know what I mean? I mean, we have the same management team. We're on the same team. So to be able to go up to New Zealand or wherever he's at and train with him would be cool.
Well, apparently they're moving out to the States, so it's probably going to be pretty easy.
I know, dude. Everybody's moving here, which is awesome, man. These other places, they need to get their stuff straight. You know what I mean? New Zealand and Australia, and you know what I mean? They need to open up. We need to live, man.
Just last thing, like, what are kind of the plans after the fight? Like, obviously we have Christmas right after there. Like, you're going to spend a couple of weeks off and then get back in the gym?
Always. That's it. You know what? I plan on coming back Sunday, Monday, start back teaching classes and training again. That's what I always do. So this is life for me. Here at the gym, at the school, teaching kids, training, it's life.
Well, Steven, I appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much for doing this.
Cole, anytime, my brother. I appreciate you. Yep. And I appreciate you having me on bjpen.com, and hopefully do it again next time.
Yeah, after the win.
You got it, buddy.
All right, we're joined by UFC lightweight Diego Ferreira, who's back in action here pretty soon. Diego, how's it going?
Doing great. I was just here chilling, Colin. Just finished a great session with my teammates. Oh, it was awesome. I feel great to be here, especially for a fight camp like this. For me, it's really important. Why? Because my last two losses, and I don't been coming as much to Dallas for my last two fights, two camps, and this time I want to put as much effort as I can.
You were obviously supposed to fight Grant Dawson in October. Like, what kind of injury? Because I know it was just a minor one that kind of forced you out of that fight.
Yeah, it was because I was doing a lot of grappling now. This was a major injury, but to go to a fight like that, you have to be 110%, 110, not even 100%, because if you're gonna go on a fight like that thinking about like injuries, you're not gonna do good. I know that because that's always keeping on my especially as a fighter. I like to go on my fights 110% and ready, because I don't want to be this shit happened because I was not ready, I was injured. I don't have those skills, and I don't want to give those skills, and then I prefer pull out the fight and looking to fight Johnson again, but they changed my opponent again, and I don't care. Now I'm really complete focused on what I'm really into to do, and I can't wait till December 18. Sorry.
Are you surprised you're fighting Gamrot now instead of rebooking that Dawson fight?
No, I'm not really surprised. Why? Because Johnson just fought. Great Johnson just fought. I knew after he got the fight, he want to fight. I have to give him that time to recover and things like that. I told my manager I don't want time. I'm ready right now, and we decide to move on and get another fight in. See see how the work's gonna go now.
Was this the right time for you, December? Like, was this when you were trying to get back in there?
Yeah, I was planning this year, do more like at least like 3 fights of the year, and it was not the plan. I was, getting 3 fights, but 3 wins, not just 3 fights. But I'm happy, it's at the end of the year. I know I put a lot of work between this time. I was putting the effort to get my hand raised, and it's a great time. I can't say different. I cannot drag the I'm happy just to have this date, and I'm looking for it.
And your opponent, Matthias Gamrot, how much do you know about him? Because he's looked very impressive his last 2 fights.
Yeah, his last 2 fight, he was amazing, like how much cardio, and especially the finish with Steven, the Kimura was like, wow, that guy know the stuff, and is impressed. It's something is motivating me a lot, because when you fight a great fighter, you're gonna have a fight. You're gonna have to put everything on the line to beat that guy, and that's the motivation I wanted, and I'm looking for the. And Coach Safe and been putting in my mind like, you there. You just need to click something on your mind, and I think I got it, and I think I got the focus, and right now is to get back to the bottom again, get back to the top 5, and that's where my eye is on it, in a top 5.
How do you think you match up against Gamrot?
I think we both as a great grapplers. I think we're gonna try beating each other in there. Meeting each other on the grappling part. Try getting as much grappling time, as much pressure and movement. I think we match it perfect, because he gonna look for the takedown. I gonna look for the takedown. I think we're gonna have the same scramble like how I did in my last fight, but this time I wanna go 3 rounds, and I wanted this. I wanna get this. Forget about what my last fight. I wanna put a new pace, a new cardio on this fight.
How much pressure is on you to get a win? Just because you're on a 2-fight losing streak, like you're fighting an unranked guy, like it seems like if you win this, you're kind of right back into fighting those top 10 guys. But if you lose, like you might be out of the rankings.
I thinking about that. Like, I really not thinking about it. Like you mentioned right now, I was not even thinking, but I never have a pressure. I just enjoy to be there. I embrace. I don't thinking about. I just thinking about to have fun, enjoy the time I'm there, the time I'll be putting my work, But yeah, the focus is on the top 5. It is to have a little bit of pressure off that, but on that day, I know I'm gonna forget about everything. I'm gonna forget it, and just gonna move on to the fight. I just gonna wanna go over there and get my finish, get my awesome performance I always do, being there, be at the top fighter I want to be.
How do you kind of see yourself winning this fight? Because Gamrot is a very durable guy. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes the distance.
I don't be surprised either. I'm looking to get the 3 rounds. I'm looking to put a great performance, but I wanted the 3 rounds. I was looking for the 3 rounds fight, but if this time is not gonna. It's not like how I did the Khalibs. I let the second round come besides finishing the first round. This time, no. Like, if I have it, I'm gonna get the finish. I'm gonna look for the finish, a TKO or submission, whatever's coming first. I'm gonna look for as soon as I have it in my hands. I know how to capitalize and get the finish.
Where do you think a win puts you? Because you're ranked 11th right now. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you win this. A top 10 guy's next for you.
That's the work, and I'm looking for. I really want to look into get a big fight, after this, and and no, I want to get to the top five. I need, not I want it, I need. That's how I gotta put it in my mind, because I need to be there. I need to be on between those sharks. Like if you be a little fish, want to swim close to the shark, you have to be ready to to be like get eat. But I'm gonna go for the fight. I want to get there to be in control of the top five. That's what my mentality is gonna be set on when I get to the timing to get to the top five.
How much better are you feeling in training now that you are at kind of Fortis a lot more? Because there's a lot of good looks at Fortis.
Oh my, like I can say that, like I've been super inspired from my teammates. The way they push me, the way they've been helping me. I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be around those guys, how I used to do in the beginning. Those last three fights I've been away from here too much. I think that's what I messed up along the longer way. Be away from my original gym. Like the way I put my work, coming to Dallas, driving 9 hours, staying aside the road sometimes, waiting for the class. That's what I need. To stay tough. Get the grinding every day, and it's no better place to be in the Fortress MMA. They whoop you ass, but you know they it's done the good way. I love this atmosphere. This push. It's just bring the best of me.
Who are the main guys you're working with for this camp?
Now I have the Abidu. I have so many guys. Victor Martinez, Luke Flores. Right, he's passing a gym. Sarah. So sorry, I forgot his last name. Abidu, Damon Jackson. So many of the guys been helping me, and I'm happy to get submitted and putting down by those guys, because I know they giving the 110% to make me better, and I love this. That's what I need.
Just a couple more things. You get your hand raised here. Like, are you hoping quick turnaround like early next year? You're gonna take a bit of time off.
No, I want a quick turnaround. How do I was explaining to you. I want to get those 3 fights in the year, and especially because I lost two. I think I need to get back as soon as I can. My injury now, and I'm feeling better. Why not? February, January, I'll be ready to go. I'm not even gonna give a break to myself after my fight. I want to right away, quick turnaround, get stopped like as soon as I can. Maybe in the middle of the year, gets back to the top five, and see what we have from there.
Just two more things. I want to get your thoughts on kind of the division. Two big fights happened recently. What you make Chandler versus Geichi?
Wow, those I took my hats for those two guys. Like they are amazing. I watched the whole fight. I always want to fight those guys. I always want, like, when I see greatness like that, like it fired me up. Like a coach was like text me, "You see that? You watching that?" And I said, "Yeah, coach, I do." And my heart race was like, I want to fight this. It gave me goosebumps. I want to fight like those guys. I want to fight those guys. I need to be there. And I was the most things like it pushed me. Great fighters, great performance, and I'm happy to see them there. And I know I can get close to those guys. I want to be there. That's where my thoughts. They did it awesome, but I want to fight those guys.
And just last one, Islam Makachev picked up a big win. What you make of his win? Because that was kind of his first like big test in the UFC.
Yeah, I'm not surprised with him. I knew it. He's a great talent. I hope one day I can fight him. He's a great fighter too. Like that, he can answer any part, grappling, ground and pound. Damn, it is good. He's a good fighter, and I hope we can cross on the way one day. Cross our lines on the way. But I know not right now. he's too in front of me. I know that, but I got I gotta get there on my pace. I got there, you know, sooner or later. We're gonna cross our paths.
Actually, just one more quick one is there's a lot of
Mm.
talk of who gets the next title shot. If you're booking the lightweight division, who do you give it to? Like there's Geichi, Beneil, and Islam all seem like they equally kind of deserve it. Who would you give it to after Poirier?
I give it to Benel. Benel Rush. He. I think he have the most chance because he's top 3 right now. He never got to the title. I think his last 2 wins, he beat me. He beat Tony Ferguson the way he did. I I put my hand for him. Like he did awesome person, awesome. I think that guy needs to fight a title. Good. He's ready. I cannot say different. I think I give it to Benel. I'm going for him.
All right, well, Diego, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank all. I appreciate it. And now BJJ Punk on. Osa.
All right, we're joined by now UFC featherweight Andre Ewell. Andre, how's it going, man?
Amazing, and definitely that featherweight just looks good on me and sounds really great. So got me excited about it.
Yeah, whenever I talk to you, like I always was amazed that you cut down to 35. Like, do you think this is kind of just a long time coming? Like, it was only a matter of time until you moved up to 45?
Oh, definitely, hands down. It was like a discussion that I always had with the manager and my team. As soon as I got into the whole UFC and everything, I wanted to go up and move up, But the whole goal was is conquer 35 and then do that. But plans didn't go the way that it went, especially with the whole COVID and different time span fighting new opponents or not, you know. And then for me, it doesn't really work that way because, like you said, I have to drop all the way down to 35 and the sacrifice that I had to put my body through to make it there. Me throwing up in the last week, only finishing like a bottle of, like, say, for instance, argument's sake, this is water. I only had this drink for the whole week, stuff like that. And anything I put in my system, I throw it up. It wasn't healthy, but you do extra stuff to make it where you want. But now I don't have to do that. I get to eat, steaks and things.
Yeah, how much better do you think you're gonna feel like in the cage there that you're not wasting all that energy? Like, and especially training now, like you can actually focus on your skills rather than just getting your weight down.
Definitely. It's already a big difference, and I'm gonna definitely feel great about it because I'm like the more mobile at 45. Like when I get to 45, I'm strong. Speed is always gonna be there. At 35, I was strong in speed, but it was burstments of what I was able to do and what not able to do. And then now it's like people argue like, oh, he gets tired, but not knowing that I have a really good conditioning coach, so which is my cousin and everything, that it pushes me to be able to basically go through all 3 rounds and whatnot. But now it's me working to finish everything in the first. So I should be back to my normal state. So first rounds is what I'm looking for.
And Charles Jourdain, like this is a pretty well-known guy. Like, so are you pretty happy to get this as your featherweight debut?
Oh, definitely. Because it's funny too. Because like for like one whole year, every time that Jourdain fought, and this is like literally last year, that I'm a fan. I was always a fan. I felt like his style and my style would match nicely. And so for me to be able to take him on or, be my first debut 445, it's awesome. Now the world, not only that, it's the ending card of the year and it's going to be one of like a big bangers that people will want to see. It's going to be like finishing off with fireworks in a way.
Stylistically, like how do you guys think you match up against him? Just because on paper, like it seems like one of those fan-friendly fights where you two are just gonna kind of strike with each other.
I think that's exactly what's going to end up happening. I know that he's a grounder type thing, or he has submissions and techniques and whatnot, and he's a black belt. But I move with nothing but black belts over here, and I wrestle with nothing but great wrestlers over here. So I'm not really worried about any of that. And so if anything, I feel like it's going to be a striking type of competitive fight. So competition where I get this, like I said, it's a perfect fight for me to showcase my ability where I should have been this whole time.
What have you made of his run so far in the UFC? Because he's had kind of mixed results, but like when he gets wins, like he does them pretty like spectacularly with knockouts.
Oh, definitely. I feel like we, very similar to a lot of things. It's the records are up and down here and there, but the fights people don't end up understanding. You gotta like look through the fights of like who we lost to and type of deals to break that down. competitive and exciting fighters that are moving on to things, and these are fights that we could have won or was winning. It's just that certain things didn't add up at the end, and that's what I end up looking at him, that he's excited. He's gonna keep it exciting, and then you got me on my side that people know that I'm exciting and I keep things exciting. Like no matter what, I'm gonna put on a show, and I'm here to steal the show, and I look at it, it is my show. So it's just kind of like putting that in front of the world to let them know that, hey, I'm here and I'm home type thing. The cage is mine.
Do you kind of view this as like you're back against the wall in this fight, just coming off the 2 losses?
I could honestly sit there and say that, but nah, it's a debut to me. It's literally like me coming in to fight Henry Barral in his hometown. It's people automatically felt like, since I'm smaller, that I'm supposed to lose, but not really realizing that I'm not actually small. I'm actually bigger. I just cut a lot of weight to make it to the smaller side, so it just looks like I'm smaller, or I'm supposed to be smaller. But now I get to walk around my normal weight and cut down where it's not as hard for me. So, but like I stated, I have like a good camp, and I have great teammates around me that will push me to what I need to do and what I need to do.
You're a guy, like, even at bantamweight, you had a lot of power, so, like, how much more powerful do you think you are gonna be now, adding an extra 10 pounds on you?
Oh man, if you ever heard of Willie Beeman, that's me. I'm just gonna be starmatic of the situation of this. So I think the power is just gonna come back to the fact that I'm supposed to be amazing. So power is always gonna be there, and power just ended up building, and even got a lot stronger in my eyes. So I'm hitting, really hitting.
Do you think you'll have a speed advantage as well, just because you're moving up and, like, you were already pretty fast at bantamweight?
Oh, definitely. I definitely feel like I'm gonna have the speed advantage, and I know that he is a quicker or quick with his hands and everything, or putting things together. And to be honest, I feel like he might actually be he should be the fastest at 45 until I walked in at 45. To be honest, so it's gonna be like a Western type fight. Who's the quickest in the West? And I feel like that's me. They call me quick draw. They're gonna call me quick draw that night. Yeah, you feel me?
How do you kinda see the fight playing out? Just because Charles is a pretty tough guy to finish.
Oh, definitely. I definitely know that. But I feel like we're gonna go into it. But granted that I'm going to be moving like every round is the first round. So my goal and eyesight is basically to finish him. And if me, like I said, he's difficult. He's a really tough guy. For me to be one of those extra people added on finishing him, that's a win in my books. Definitely double win on my books. So even if they don't give me a bonus, because I'm aiming for the bonus type thing, and if I don't get a bonus, that'll be the bonus to finish it.
Well, that was literally my next question. Like, I just think this fight stylistically, like, has bonus kind of written all over it. Because if you get the finish, it seems like it'll be a performance, and if you go the distance, like, it seems like it'd be the fight of the night.
Oh, I definitely agree. Definitely agree. It's like it's a coin flip between the two, and like I said, my head is in there and eyes socket and basically to win and finish the fight. And I have a lot of people that have been pushing and helping me during this whole camp, and because I have my ups and downs, especially on the mental stage. So with them pushing me and constantly like having my back to move forward, he's fighting more than just me. It's gonna be low key like he's getting jumped in the cage, you know.
Where do you think a win over Charles puts you in the featherweight division? Because he's been a guy like right near the top 15.
Oh, with that win, it definitely should put me over there. If not like you said, not top 15, that I should be like damn near close. So top 20, if anything. I feel like how you said that stated, he's around there, and I feel like his last fight would have put him in the rankings. If he would have won that. But things goes the way that it goes, and for me, like I said, me winning should be top 20 in the featherweight, and definitely looking good for whoever's next or whatever's next.
Do you already have your eyes on like some featherweights now that you want to fight? Like, have you already been scouting the division?
I can go ahead and say I probably have, but not my mindset. It's like clearly give me the fights that that I want. But if I challenge anybody, I'll probably challenge like Max Holloway at a basketball game. The dude's actually legitly good, in basketball. Like I went out there in Hawaii to train, did conditioning with him and some of the other guys, and they're all cool. nothing but humble, nothing but awesome. They're like amazing people, you know. And he is over there playing basketball, and then so it's one of those like if I challenge anybody, all right, see you guys. Yeah, if I challenge anybody, it'll be me challenging Max to a basketball game. Yeah.
How much better for you too? You look at the featherweight rankings, like majority of them are strikers. Like there are not many people that want to take it to the ground. Like bantamweight on the other hand is a lot of wrestlers, and just for you, that's probably a lot more fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just the fact is that I get to strike with everybody. And like don't get me wrong, like they have like little mixy Phillies up in there, like Andre Philly, he's a up and downer type thing. But think about it, he's from Cali, and Cali's like known for wrestling and everything. But if you end up looking at like you said, all the rankings or the rankers, like they have a good background at jits, but they don't use it. They strike it. It's like more of a if you get me on the ground, we know how to get the back, get up. Or hey, if you give me your neck, I'm going to take it. But if you don't worry, we want to strike anyway. So like I said, it's home. Featherweight is home for me.
How much better too, like where you'll be able to take some more like short notice fights, or like just because you don't have to cut a lot of weight. Is that a big benefit as well?
Oh, definitely a big benefit because I'm active. I like to be active. I want to stay active. I want to constantly keep moving. So 45, like you stated, I'm gonna have to really cut much, and I make 45 easy. I could probably sleep it off if anything.
Are you putting like any pressure on yourself to go out there and like have a big statement performance to kind of put the featherweight division on notice?
See, at first I probably thought that, but at the end of the day, it's like I said, I've been going through like so much up and down situations that my mind's not even thinking of pressure. Are you with me? It's more thinking of perform and do what you do best. Like, you're good. I'm great. I'm literally awesome, fucking amazing. So it's like I tell this to myself every time I wake up. I look in the mirror. I'm telling myself, and then especially since I have my boy looking up to me. All right, you guys. Yeah, so since I have my little boy looking up to me and everything, or he's there with me, or watching me train, it's one of those I don't want to fail for him, so I'm not thinking about it.
Just a couple more things. Like, how much heavier do you think you will be in the octagon compared to when you were 35? Or do you think you're gonna be pretty similar?
Say it again. My apologies.
How much like heavier do you think you will be on fight night compared to when you were fighting at 35? Do you think it's gonna be pretty similar?
I'll probably be a little heavier, probably like 6 more pounds heavier, because I go from 35, I rehydrate up to like 48 to 52, and that's like literally bouncing back and forth. So with this one, 45, I'll probably rehydrate up to like 58, and I'll probably be sitting at 58. Like right now, that's where I'm at right now, like 58, 57.
You get your hand raised here. Like, are you hoping a quick turnaround and start making these that run at featherweight?
If I get a quick win, which that's the goal, I will definitely do a turnaround if it's in January, because right now, that they moved the card over here and in
Yeah.
Anaheim, and that's my hometown. People know that. So, was born there, so Anaheim it's the spot for me. That would be like an awesome turnaround, for a pay-per-view type thing. But if not, I see myself coming back in like March, give or take. But before all that March stuff, I am definitely taking vacations and coming back and training and traveling to train some other places and stuff like that. So like Miami, back to Hawaii, supposed to do Dubai, but I gotta make sure they got a gym over there before I just go over there. But goal is to end up training and go places and enjoy life. At 45, like you said, I don't have to cut.
Just last thing, like, where do you kind of see yourself, ideal world, like this time next year? Like, where do you kind of see yourself in the division? Because this Jourdain win kind of puts you into the rankings. Like, you could pick up 2-3 wins by this time next year and be in the rankings.
Yeah, you're definitely right. And I end up just the way you end up placing it. You kind of just read the story for me. Like, fight, beat Jourdain, and then move on. Try to get 3 more fights next year, and aiming for that third fight of next year. That's a ranking opponent, because there's like really good, great featherweights, like and then we even got legends that are still moving and still killing the game, like Cub Swanson. That's always like a go to good great fight. We're all both Cali people, so or hell, it could be like us Cali versus everybody. So I'm definitely down with that. So Team Cali.
Well, Andre, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much for doing this.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for having me, man. And again, anytime that you want me, just let me know.
Yeah.
I got you.